Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little bit different this week. I didn't have a whole lot of time to record a video, so instead what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you a video from a keynote that I did last year, specifically on how to get the most out of your vocal recording sessions. It's 720p video, but I feel like there's some really good stuff in here that's worth showing you. And if any of you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Seth. I produce music under the name Velvet Year. I specialize in getting artists' song ideas turned into Spotify-ready releases. And if you have a modern pop vision that you want to get off the ground, check out the top link below and we can get started. So now enjoy this keynote that I made. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is how to get the most out of your vocal sessions. We're going to be covering a lot of topics here, so I might go a little bit faster in this one than normal, but yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this one. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is the do's and don'ts for foods and drinks before you go into the studio. This can honestly be something that ruins a vocal recording session in my experience. If you eat the wrong kind of food going in, it makes it stupid difficult. So the first don'ts, we're going to go over the don'ts real quick, but the first don'ts for food is surprising to a lot of people, but it's ice water or just cold water in general. And the reason for this is your vocal cords are muscles, so the same way that you would jump into a cold pool and all your muscles will tense up and you're like shivering and stuff like that. That's what happens to your voice when you put cold water on it. So your vocal cords are going to tense up, and that can actually force you to sing in a way that can cause your vocal cords damage. And you don't want that, and you don't want stress here. You want them to be relaxed when you're recording, because recording vocals is going to be one of those things where you're going to be in the studio, you're going to be doing it for a while, about the same length you would be doing it for like a live show, so you really don't want to stress your vocals in any way. Another things that you should not eat/drink are dairy products. So if you drink coffee, we'll get to that, but if you drink coffee, you got to drink it black with no sugar or anything like that, because dairy products create phlegm, and phlegm on your vocal cords is really terrible. It will make you slide around notes. You'll in your head be aiming for this note, and you could actually be hitting it correctly from your memory, but that phlegm in your throat is just going to be slipping all over the place, and it's going to make it really hard to be accurate when you're singing. The second thing is processed sugars. Processed sugars are not good for you. I'm sure anybody is going to be surprised by that. But yes, so we want to limit our processed sugar intake because that's not good for our voice. Second thing is caffeine. So caffeine will make your body exert more energy, and that causes your body to become dehydrated, and your vocal cords becoming dehydrated is the worst thing ever. When you have a dry throat, it's the worst thing, and it's really uncomfortable to sing with a dry throat, so I would avoid caffeine if you can. The other thing that you should avoid is alcohol. Sorry for all of us who like craft beers, but if you are drinking alcohol, that's going to make it 10 times harder to sing something. The alcohol is just not going to be nice to your throat. It's going to dry your throat up. It's again, like, I don't think anybody is surprised by this, but yeah, just stay away from alcohol altogether. So some things that are do's for food and water. For water, we want room temperature water. Water that is not warm or hot, that's going to burn us, and we don't want ice cold water. We literally just want like room temperature water. That's the best water. It's very easy. It's probably going to be the closest to like your core temperature as a person, so you don't have to worry about it scalding you or seizing up your muscles or something like that. Other things that are good for you for eating would be lean proteins, so that would be chicken. You really don't want stuff that is super fatty, so I wouldn't recommend fast food or stuff like that, but chicken, like lean chicken, that would be really good for you. Also fruits and nuts, because those are also really good for you and your voice. If you are going to eat fruits, though, I would recommend try to avoid really overly citrusy stuff like oranges or lemons. I find that for some singers, that's really acidic, or not acidic, but it's citrusy, and it can like do weird things to your throat. Again, try this with yourself, see if it works. But yeah, I would recommend, if you are going to eat or do stuff the day of, stick with this list and do not have anything else from the previous list. And the second thing to get the most out of your vocal recording sessions are practice your vocal parts. And a lot of people don't really realize how much vocalists kind of slack off in this area, in my experience. In my experience, vocalists tend to slack off on practicing their vocal parts more than guitar players or bass players or even drummers, really. Most of the time when you are in the vocal booth, it is very clear if you have practiced or not. So it's really important that you know your vocal parts and that you spend time with them before you record them. Even if you're recording at home, I strongly recommend spending like a day or two just slowly working through all of the melodies and parts that you need to sing and make sure that you really get them. And in order to practice your vocal parts, I'm gonna recommend this technique that I learned from vocal lessons, which is this, I call it like the robot technique. But what you're gonna do is you're going to take your vocal melody and you are going to sing it like one note at a time without any slide. You're just going to straight on hit the note. So let's go with We Will Rock You by Queen. So instead of going, we will rock you, you're going to go, we will rock you. And you're going to like do it static like that. And you're just going to try to hit them and not slide into them or slide around them. And then compare those notes to the notes on a piano or a guitar or something like that. And what you're going to find is most of the time, you don't really realize where that note is and you're kind of swimming around it. And so working through an entire song with that sort of technique or that kind of approach will really help you like know, okay, these are the notes I'm trying to hit in my vocal melody. And the more you spend time learning those, like the more your vocal session is just going to fly by without any problems. The next thing we're going to be talking about is learning your lyrics. I have a thing in my studio where I don't allow people to read lyrics on their phones. And here's why. When you are reading your lyrics, and again, most of the time when people are reading lyrics, it's because they've seen videos of other people in the studio like reading lyrics off their phone. But what I find is that tends to create vocal performances where it sounds like you're reading. All right, it doesn't sound like you're in the moment. It doesn't sound like you're performing. It sounds like you're reading your lyrics because you are reading your lyrics. So what I would highly recommend is memorize them. Even if you have to just memorize them one line at a time and be like, okay, now let's do this part and get in that headspace. I would strongly recommend doing that and not looking at your phone, because when you look at your phone, it can really stifle the emotion of the takes. All right, the next thing we're going to be talking about are vocal warm-ups. This is something where it's like, if you want to get the most out of a gym day, you got to do a little bit of warm-ups. If you want to get the most out of a vocal session, you got to do a little bit of warm-up. We don't need to do like a 30-minute thing. Sometimes actually over-warming up in the same way as a gym, over-warming up can sometimes lead to more problems. So keep that in mind. But if you're looking for some basic vocal warm-ups, you can just Google or look up on YouTube vocal exercises. One of my favorites that I use all the time whenever I'm having to lead at church or something like that, and I just need a little quick warm-up. The Jacobs Vocal Academy, there's a 5-minute vocal warm-up, which it's actually on Spotify. So if you have Spotify or Apple Music or any music streaming service like that, just look up Jacobs Vocal Academy and you can find their 5-minute vocal warm-up. And yeah, you don't have to do the full thing or the full range. I'm a baritone, so like sometimes the high end of that exercise is a little too high for me. So don't think that you need to do the entire thing. Just, do enough to get warmed up with yourself. And another thing that I find very helpful that I picked up from my friend, Merrick Kingman, is breathing exercises. She taught me this really awesome exercise that sort of expands your lungs and helps you warm up your lungs for taking breaths while you're singing. So the way that she describes this exercise is you have your finger doing like a snap, like a count, I can't snap with this finger right now, but so what we're going to do now is we're going to breathe in for 4 counts as if we're sucking through a straw. So, and then we're going to breathe out on an S, like a snake, for another 4. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to keep doing that exercise for like a minute or so until we've gotten our lungs warmed up a little bit. And we're going to incrementally add another 4 seconds onto that exhale. So say we've done that
So say we just did that a few times. Now we're gonna have an inhale on 4, and we're gonna exhale on 8. So and you're just going to keep doing that. It will surprise you how long you can hold that exhale out. Sometimes you can get to like 30 or something. You never feel like you're going to run out of air while you're singing. So that is a very useful exercise. So thank Merrick for that one. The fifth thing that we're going to be talking about is a little less technical, but it's the headspace that you're in when you are tracking vocals. And I feel like this is something that gets bypassed a lot in videos that talk about how to prepare for a vocal recording session. Your headspace when you are recording is going to determine how well your performances are in the takes. So in your preparation for these vocal recording sessions, think about the song. Think about the artistic vision of the song. If you're recording vocals for this indie rock song and it's about a breakup and it's very grungy, try to imagine like a music video or a movie scene where like you're the central character. I always love watching music videos for inspiration. There was one time where I needed to record some kind of like emo trap rap thing. And so I pulled up a really cool music video of like somebody doing like these fast syncopated movements, doing these sort of like fast movements with like a jarring, blurry Jason Bourne camera in like a dark room with like these neon lights, and it felt like badass. And so I imagined myself in that, and I would close my eyes. I knew the lyrics, I knew the melody, and I would just get in that zone while I was tracking, and it made the vocal takes so much better. So you as an artist need to just invade the space when you are tracking, because that is something that you can't fix with EQ. You can't fix it with different auto-tune or stuff like that. Your vocal performance is your vocal performance, and that's irreplaceable to the song. So the last thing we're going to be talking about is kind of in the same thing, but if you have the time, or if you're in an environment where you're allowed to do this, try to make the room set up for that vibe. So if you are doing more of a ballad where it's sort of more soft and intimate, turn the lights down. See if you can like light some candles or some stuff like that. Like make yourself feel like you are in the song. Same thing. If you're a rapper and you're going like crazy in this song, see if you can get like some like red LED lights and just make the room drenched in red so that you can just like, and you just like go for it. Like see if you can make your environment match what you want the emotion of the song to be, because that will make it a heck of a lot easier for you. Same thing with actors. It's a lot easier for an actor to react to a horror movie monster in a more organic way when they can like see the monster, and it's not like some CG monster where they have like a blue ball and they're like, be scared of this blue ball, and you're like, but like when it's an actual like puppet of a monster, they can be like, ah! So try to give yourself as many leg ups as you can. And so if you do these 6 things every time you go into a vocal session, I guarantee you're going to see so many amazing vocal takes come out of those sessions.
If you guys enjoyed that keynote at all, please hit subscribe. And I have some more of those that I just never posted. So if you want more videos like those, let me know and I'll actually probably make some more. See you guys next week.